Hello, and a very warm welcome back to term for you, the parents and guardians of Year 11 students here at Castle Manor Academy. Now, this is a presentation that I would have liked to have delivered live to you in the hall and actually met you for the first time. And it's what has previously been called our Kickstart evening, where you would have been invited in. So hopefully this might happen in the future. We might look to do it maybe Easter time. If not, it all depends on our COVID safety, etc. But we are being positively cautious and carrying on with the recording. So even though this is our Kickstart event, I have titled it Supporting Success with Proud Parents, as all parties, students, parents and staff at Castle Manor believe that every child has potential to leave here successfully. And we know and understand this would not happen without the support of you, the parents and guardians of our students. And success may look different for each student, but the feeling of pride we all feel in August on that changing day, on that life-changing day, which is results day. So I'm going to take you through 5 areas: career, study, wellbeing, exam expectations, wellbeing and support from this. So bear with me for the next 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and we will get cracking. So first of all, I'm going to start with careers, which is what the GCSE results are all about. The next steps. We have the fantastic Mr. Course, who is our careers lead and has already started his CEIAG pathway meetings. So this essentially stands for Careers, Education, Information, Advice and Guidance, and is designed to prepare students for life in modern Britain by providing the knowledge, understanding, confidence and skills that they need to make informed choices and plans for their future learning and career. So this includes 15-minute check-ins for every student within Year 11. And these 15-minute check-ins are coming off the back of the first meeting that they had with Mr. Course that he conducted at the end of Year 10. Students need to have an idea and start building on an idea between that meeting with Mr. Course and their new one on where they want to be, what they want to do, how they're going to get there. And they need to enter these discussions having completed at least some research into how to apply and what is needed. So not only this weekly emails are sent out with upcoming courses, open evenings and all etc. from Mr. Course, all these dates are put onto the Year 11 overview calendar, which I have spoken to tutors, teachers, curriculum leads. Everyone is aware of this Year 11 overview calendar, and so should you be. Now you know about it from this. Your child has access to this overview calendar. It's an online calendar that we update regularly. As soon as thing comes in that affect Year 11, it goes onto that calendar. So there is one place for everything that you need to know, and it's going to help prioritise and organise. And if you want to know dates straight away, please access the overview calendar. The link has been emailed to the children, to the students, sorry, and it is also live on Go. The link is on Go for students to access at any point. So if you would like to have a look, please be my guest. I urge you to go onto that. It's updated by both myself and Miss Bruce, who is now the assistant AL for achievement lead for Year 11, and we are updating this daily. And the links that are on there, you just need to click on them and they take you live straight to the web page that's needed for that open day or for that particular event that's on there. Mr. Course has offered extra time with students if they need it. So if they have had their 15 minutes and they're still feeling a bit confused, a bit lost, then they can book in extra time with Mr. Course. But they need to email him and ask. Now, as you can see on this slide, his email address is on here. So please do make a note of that. Students should have access to this email address when they type it into the address box. This will also be on the final slide too. So I would heavily suggest that students do research before this meeting to get the most out of it. And if your child is interested in an open day, please do encourage and support them by going to it with them. It's really good if you can do that. We are now going to move on to study. So it's the most frequently asked question by parents and by students is how often should a year 11 student be revising for? And again, the heavily suggested revision time is roughly, it's per subject rather than per evening, etc. Is roughly around an hour to an hour and a half per subject per week. And that can be gently started to be drip fed into their timetables that they do after school, their routines that they have after school. So now that does include home learning that has been set per subject. So any home learning does get included within that 1.5 hours per subject per week. And any time they spend during school, so their Tuesday and Thursday tutor times, which are half an hour each, can be included with this. Now, I've been dropping this number to year 11s and it has been met with smiles from some and cheerless faces from others. So quickly would like to talk through the forgetting curve with you to get a feeling of the importance behind this 1.5 hour number. This has also been shared with students in 2 days assembly. So what this shows is how quickly we are likely to forget new information. The dark blue line shows how easily information is forgotten if the information is never looked at again within the first 15 minutes. Now put this into perspective for our students. We ask them to remember information from maths, then head straight into potentially a French lesson next. That's a lot of information to take in, and in 2 hours, and 2 different hours, let alone 6 lessons. Now, as I do like to live in hope, if students revisit this work again, maybe during their break or lunchtime, and tutor time too, then they are more likely to remember all of the information for a further 24 hours, which is the red line. The yellow line shows revisiting the information 24 hours later, so the next day they're going to quickly go through what they've gone through in their lessons the previous day. And they are more likely to remember it for the next week. The more often the information is revisited, the stronger the amount of information is remembered. The science and the general necessity behind the need to revise or revisit information is just huge, and the support you could offer here is to sit and chat with your child for 10 minutes each evening after school, go over the highlights of what they've learned within each lesson, and just talk it through, because this would buy into the red, yellow lines of overcoming the forgetting curve. So the expectations of home learning feed into this nicely. So with the expectation of knowledge organisers to be present in all books and for students to be using this as guidance to revise keywords and information would be a good place to start. So every book should have a knowledge organiser based on what the students are learning. Deliberate practice, whereby students are expected to repeat information through self-quizzing and exam preparation questions. This may be in the form of home learning, it may be in the form of what is expected during tutor time. Heggerty is also available online for maths, and Seneca is a great place for science. So all of this will be available on the Year 11 Access It page, which students will be introduced to over the next week. So all homework, however, is all put onto Go. So if they are not, and they should be from lockdown, start creating the habit of double checking Go would be fantastic. The Access It page is a web page that we are creating as a school, and it is up and running. So it will have all the web pages that we push our students to be looking at. So Seneca, so Heggerty, the Year 11 overview calendar is all going to be on this Access It page. But students have got to be introduced to that in the next week, so they will understand what it is soon. However, I want to really stress, if anyone is experiencing internet issues, please do not suffer in silence. Let me know, let your tutor know, let somebody at school know, and we will look to help you in as many ways that we possibly can. Okay, so please, I urge you to let me know if you're experiencing any kind of issue with your internet or device issues. Thank you. So moving on to support. So we are offering a lot of support in all sorts of areas. And I've already spoken to you about one area, which is huge, which is the careers. We've looked at study, so there's all sorts of things happening to help them prioritise, organise, etc. Secondly, tutors. Year 11 have 5 members of strong staff within the Year 11 tutor team. They are the ones that hold our students to high expectations every day, ensuring punctuality, presentation are all upheld, and just like that of a workplace. Tutors are also the first point of contact for most worries or concerns for both yourself and students. Okay, a lot of our students have a check-in allocated time with either our wellbeing team, our behaviour for learning support team, myself, or Miss Bruce. Talking of which, Year 11 are so important, and we have a lot to fit in within this year. Miss Whitcomb has allocated an extra member of staff, which I know I spoke about earlier, which is Miss Bruce, who is now the Year 11 Assistant Achievement Leader. So we have an extra member of staff there to access for any kind of help or support from you guys, for you as well. You will have noticed I have mentioned her name before, and her name will also be on lots of letters that are starting to be sent out to you. So all students are aware that they are able to email either of the team spoken about, book an appointment to have access, such as check-ins. As we know and understand, offloading and having someone to talk to is just as important during times of need. Not only this, support is in terms of revising has already started. Tutor Time now boasts a full timetabled rota of learning a different revision skill and putting this skill into practice each week. So we have already looked at flashcards and self-quizzing. So this is complemented alongside the careers workshops that run every 5 weeks throughout Tutor Time. This week is the first, well, the week just gone, was the first week of those workshops and was focused solely on how to write a personal statement. We didn't write the personal statements, we've drafted it, looked at keywords, looked at sentence starters, started mind mapping out how we go about writing those personal statements. They will then be given time in 5 weeks' time to write it properly. The skills learned so far are during the revision time, so the Tuesday and Thursday, are flashcards, self-quizzing, and creating a team environment within their tutor group. So it's another way of showing support. You're going to be a team, you get in it together. Not only this, but students have access to the Year 11 overview calendar, which again is on go and has all the dates in one place. I'm pushing that a lot because I think it's really important for you to prioritise and for them to prioritise and organise. I know Year 11 tutors are doing a fantastic job of showing them this on a regular basis, normally on a Friday and perhaps on a Monday if there is time after assembly. But please do ask your child to show this so you can keep up to date. What I plan on doing is emailing you personally every 4 weeks with a helpful tips email, which links to the revision skills that they previously learned. I will also be copying in the following 4 weeks from that calendar to you, so you are on point with your child as well. Not only this, English and maths interventions have started within Tutor Time. So this means that if your child is involved with this, they will be receiving an extra hour of a ratio of 1 teacher to 8 students. It might be less, which we believe will make an impact of them successfully reaching their target grades. This runs on a 4-week rotation, and in the not so distant future, Mr. Hughes and I will be sending out schedules for after school interventions too. So this again can be counted as part of the students' 1.5 hours of revision per subject. So that's all kinds of different support that's going on. If you have any more issues or queries or questions from this, please do email. The final email will have all the contact details on there. So exams. The date is the 1st of October when I've recorded this. Last night we had a drop from the government of the updated expectations of exams. So I'm going to go through that in a minute, and I'm going to have to hold a piece of paper in front of me, I'm afraid. So I am going to quote directly off the government website, which is they have looked into completing a contingency plan, so exams to go ahead fairly and safely in 2022. So we are expecting exams are going ahead in summer of 2022. And this is what we have already started to plan for and are working towards. So that fits in quite nicely. So to the piece of paper. 2022 will be a transition year to reflect where we are in a pandemic recovery period, and to also reflect that students' education has been disrupted in the last 2 years for this cohort, your year group. So in 2022, we aim to reflect a midway point between 2021 and 2019. The approach that the government and Ofqual are working together to get to is to recognise the disruption experienced. So therefore, they expect results to overall be higher in 2019, but potentially not as high in 2020. This, however, might vary per subject, and it might vary per subject, because the national data that gets pushed across is not present at the moment from the last 2 years. So the government has introduced a choice of topics or content in some GCSE exams, and exam boards will give advanced information about this. So they are yet to give more information that is subject specific to each GCSE. All we know is that their aim is to return to a pre-pandemic grade profile, but we don't think it's fair on 2022 students, so our cohort, our students, to do it all in one go, given the disruption they have experienced. And the exact position of where the data will stand in terms of their results will vary based by subject and based by overall grade. So this is what they are calling a midpoint approach in 2022. Okay, so the main message from that really is exams are going ahead in 2022. In the summer of 2022, any updates per subject will be given to you as and when we are aware. And the interventions, the rota, the revision tutor rota we have been doing has been working towards the expectation that we were going to get this news, which we have done, which is great. So this means that our mission remains the same, getting students to reach their full potential on a daily basis. This means students need to be fully equipped for each lesson. So when they come to complete their first round of mocks in November, the dates are on the Year 11 overview calendar, and are being emailed out to you this week. They know exactly which piece of equipment is needed for what type of question, because that can become confusing in maths, in science. There's all sorts of equipment they have to use. They have to understand how to highlight keywords so they know to go back to in English. So it's understanding when to do this and when not to, rather than highlighting the whole question. The equipment is needed, and so it then gives them that understanding of what exam conditions look like and how to organise and how to prepare, because that will bring down pre-exam anxieties, pre-exam worries, etc. So this will avoid disruption for all, and being organised helps pre-exam anxieties, I've said. Students need to be checking their emails regularly for updates, as Mrs. Cleary, who is our exams officer, will email and print each student a copy of their personalised exam timetable. All student plans and exam entries will be printed and placed at various boards across the school for students to double check. Students need clear pencil cases, clear water bottles. Labels need to be removed if they're using ones they buy from the shop prior to coming into the hall. A printed copy of exam expectations will be given to each student, and I will email it home, and will be on display within their tutor room. So they are completely clear of the conduct that they themselves are expected. Now, we are having an assembly on Monday the 11th that is going to be run by Mrs. Cleary to go through all of this, so they are all completely prepared and understand. And it has come from the main woman, who is Mrs. Cleary, when it comes to exams. Practicing it now ensures complete understanding of when it comes to the real thing in May. So our exam period starts in May. However, for some, this is even earlier. We have got business, media and health and fitness exams coming up just after half term. These dates have been emailed this week, and they are on the Year 11 overview calendar. The first round of mocks begin on November the 22nd, and this is for 2 straight weeks. Okay, so please, any double check-ins of dates, please look at it, go through your child's Go for Schools and click on the link that is there. It's been set by Miss Arbishaw. Finally, but importantly, we have been through the strangest times of year that anyone on the planet can describe, which is a global pandemic. And as we now know, we are being used as a midpoint approach to exams. So come out of this pre-pandemic stage. We are all in this together. We are reinventing, we are finding our way through a new normal, and it's important for students, both you, us, and the students, to be looking after one another. Taking time out, prioritising time for things you and your child both enjoy is essential for us to get through the next 10 most important months of these students' lives. The pressure and the stress that will come through exams, for the majority, will be something they've never experienced before. We have experienced it. They haven't, so it is a big thing for them. We have a full staff wellbeing team who already cast an eye over the majority of the year group, and there are and have been and will be nurse drop-in sessions happening over the next few weeks, and these details can be found on the Year 11 overview calendar alongside the email address which is on there for you to email directly. Towards March time, the tutor revision skills rota that happens on a Tuesday and Thursday are changing tack to concentrate on how to deal with exam stress and anxiety. So rather than looking at revision skills, it's how then to deal with the stress, that blanking that might happen, that 10 minutes of panic as you're sat in that chair. So how to deal with the exam stress, the anxiety, the importance of sleep, and the importance of, and the role of friendship, because that plays a huge role, especially within school, because we need focus to be on exams, revision, etc. I can't keep pushing it enough. Currently, in our HRE lessons, we are revisiting the My Brain, which guides students through understanding different daily emotions and how to recognise them and where to go if help is needed. So if you have any concerns, please do liaise with tutors, myself, Miss Bruce, and all our contact information has been and is going to be kept on being sent to you. I will always, rather than just my signature, it's going to be all the tutors' emails on there as well, so you have different points of contact. So finally, together, everyone achieves more. Team, that team philosophy we've been pushing in tutor time to begin with the revision skills rota. Again, you and I and Castle Manor, we are a team. And if we work together and we support each other, we all have the same goal, which is for our students to leave here with them reaching the most amount of potential they possibly can. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. I hope you found the information both purposeful and useful. We want every child to leave Castle Manor Academy achieving the best they possibly can too, but this best will only be achieved if we work together as a team. Your support is always valued and it is really relied upon, and without this there is no team. I'm just going to take this opportunity to thank you so far for all your support. I've spoken to pretty much every single one of you. You've always been incredibly supportive towards me and your child, which is fantastic, and for all the support you've shown Castle Manor in the past. So for now, it's a big thanks in advance, because your continued support over these next 10 months are both vital and needed. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and please do, again, get in touch if you have any queries, questions. All the information is on this slide, and this will be the slide that's at the bottom of all my emails and letters I send to you. Thank you.